This would be Tuesday, October 24th, and we're going to get into one with the first Charger Challenge. But I think everyone that got my Charger Challenge invite was here. If you did not get the Charger Challenge invite, you're just missing out on a rockingly awesome competition between all of our different teams to find out which team is the best. Hashtag spoiler, it's the heroes. And then we also have big picture homework due tomorrow, which I'll put up here again in a moment to help you out. But we have our newest book report, back by popular demand, because kids are like, why can't we have more book reports? Said no kid ever. But this one is different than last time. Here's the information. You're going to download the rubric, which will tell you how the grading works, the directions, which are the things you're not going to follow and wonder why you don't do well, and then the examples, which are going to help you see the idea of what you're supposed to do. Now that you've downloaded those, I'll give you a moment. If you're at home, hit the pause button right there, and then you can come back when you're done. Welcome back. It's hilarious on my end. Here's what your project is going to look like. It is different than last time. We're going to be using a square that looks something like this. It is going to be 12 inches by 12 inches, which is one ruler by one ruler. You can either get your own paper from anywhere where paper is sold, like a forest, or you can get them from me for either 5 B points or a quarter. And then you're going to take your paper and you fold it so the little corners come to the inside. It's like you're making the little cootie catchers or the fortune tellers, and you get tired and stop after the first direction. You're like, oh, I'm exhausted. And you just do the first part, and that's it. So now you have little flappy things. Now that you know the 7 elements of a short story, we're going to see if you can apply them to a novel. So you're going to apply them for this short story. One flappy thing says characters, one says setting, one says conflicts, and one says plot. You're just going to break down your story. Who are the characters? Give me 3 or 4 of them. Why are they important? What big things happen to them in the story? The plot, from the beginning to end, what are all the major events that happen? The setting, when and where does it take place? Characters, who is in the story? Why are they important? Conflicts, the internal and external, and how they shape the story. Then in the middle of it, you're going to have 2 scenes. And so not just pictures of a character, but major things. Either a conflict that happens or some major event that shows up in the plot, which are going to have 2 major scenes that show up in that middle area. That's it. My goal is for this one to be a little bit on the easier side. The good news is it's easier. The bad news is it's harder to get extra credit because there is no objective way for you to get extra credit. There is still the subjective way to get extra credit, which is just you overwhelming me and making my little teacher tears come out of my eyes, and that'll still get you the extra credit, but I can't really tell you what to do to make that happen. It's just a matter of overwhelming me when I see it. The picture's in the middle. If you are not a good artist, that is fine. I am not a good artist. Can you do stick figures? You can, as long as you put clothing on your stick figures. I don't want naked stick figures. That's creepy. Does that mean we just have to color the stick figures? No. That's body paint on naked stick figures, and that just makes it more creepy. What if that's in our book? Congratulations, you found a 3rd level of creepy. So I would prefer that you find a part of the book where they're not naked and running around. All you have to do is put some kind of clothing on them, just shapes. Triangles, rectangles, squares, circles. I don't know what's hip in stick figure land. And so you're going to find something for them to wear. And then just, are they running from a dinosaur? Are they on a spaceship blowing up? Are they on a bus? And so you just add the extra stuff into it. What if we're really bad at drawing, but we're good at computers? Be creative. If you can find a way to do a computer drawing and make it look not awful, then that's fine with me. Can we Photoshop something? As long as it looks like you put effort into it and you built something up and done like that, that's fine too. Can we just print a random picture and put it on there? That's called being lazy. So we'll go back to the no. But as long as you find some creative way to show me that you read the book and understood it and did a scene, I'm pretty open to it. For most kids, it's drawings, but as technology takes over, if you find another way to do it, I'm open to your interpretation of how you want to do it from there. When is it due? That's on my website. When should you have the book read? That's on my website. When do you have to have the book chosen by? That's not on my website. Sometime next week, because I have to wait till we go to the library, and I don't know what day we're going to the library, but it should be like next Wednesday. My guess is you have to pick your book by next Friday. Can we do the same book as last time? I couldn't hear you. All I heard you say is, can I be incredibly lazy? Sure, let's see what happens. Go for it. Sounds like a fun thing to do. I think that's most of the issues. Issues I've not covered because you're creative with your issuing. Yes.
So you said we can't do the same book that we did last time. Can
Different book in the same series?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And or you can do a book from a series you've never read before. That's also fine with me too. I have no problem with that. Sandy.
Well, you have to do a book that we already read.
Sure, I've already graded your project. Would you like to know what you got?
No.
Okay. Selena Kyle.
If you barely started a book, are you allowed to do that book?
Probably. Come show it to me. And we can probably talk from there. Terhune. I was worried we were going to go through a question session without you. What's up?
If you've seen like a movie or TV show, can you still read a book? Okay.
And hopefully in the stuff that you're going to give me, I'll be able to figure out the differences from there.
Okay.
It should be okay. All right. Then, let's see, to that. We're good to go there. The notebook you can put away. We're done with that. We're good to go there. Once again, as a reminder on the homework that is due tomorrow, my goal is that it should not take super duper crazy long. That's not my goal with it. I mean, we'll find out. The two biggest issues that kids make mistakes with it is, one, doing their similes and metaphors about different pictures as opposed to all about the same picture. Like one simile about the fluffy hamster, one about the big goldfish, one about the giant truck, one about the creepy girls, one about the guy. No, all 6 are about the same thing. You can do different things in the same picture. You just have to focus on the same picture for the whole thing. The other thing where kids will mess up is you can't be lazy with your metaphors. I know I said that you can turn similes into metaphors, which is fine. You just can't turn the similes you already did into metaphors. Meaning, don't try and pull this level of lazy. The fluffy hamster is like a white cloud. The fluffy hamster is a white cloud. Nailed it. The fluffy hamster's nose is like a button. The fluffy hamster's nose is a... No, that's not how it's going to work. So it feels like I'm failing. It feels I am failing. Yes. So that's sort of uses that same idea. So those are the two biggest issues kids have. Don't do those, and then you should be fine from there. For our non-fiction article I'm going to have us take a look at today, I came across an article where the scientists were studying kids. Scary already. But it was the idea of being popular in junior high, does that affect you later in life? And the answer is, it does. Your level of popularity can affect your happiness when you become more of an adult, or at least like post-college-y times. And so it's a short article, but it brings up some interesting ideas about popularity and where you fit in now and how it affects you later on. So normally I have you guys write and respond to these. I'm not going to have you do that today. I just want to talk about them. So I'm going to read them and then have you think for a moment. And then we're going to just do the agree, disagree, read the article, and then go from there. So real quick, let's have you do this first. I'm going to have you download the article, and then we'll go back and take a look at those. It's on the poetry page. And it's just go to poetry. Excuse me. Oh, burpee. Stop. Then on poetry, you scroll down, and there'll be a spot that says nonfiction. And then the first one on there, I think, says cool kids. And that's what we're going to take a look at. Being cool in middle school is not good for your future. And once you've done that, then we'll go back and take a look at these different statements and see if you agree or disagree. Alright. I'm going to read through all of them first, let you think for a moment, and then we're going to see if you agree or disagree with each one of these, and then we'll get a chance to discuss them at the end. First one says, being popular is directly tied to happiness in junior high. 2. Popular kids are popular for a good reason. 3. I've never seen a popular kid do something stupid on purpose. That's scary already. 4.
Irony.
Anyone could be popular if they really wanted to be. 5. I would gladly give up anything to be the most popular kid. So those are my 5 statements. I'm going to see if you agree or disagree with each one. So the first one, being popular is directly tied to happiness in junior high. If you agree, raise your hand. If you disagree, raise your hand. All right. Seems to be a large number. 2, popular kids are popular for a good reason. Agree, raise your hand. Disagree, raise your hand. That's interesting. 3, I have never seen a popular kid do something stupid on purpose. Agree? Disagree. I actually have had a handful of kids say agree on that one. I was like, really? 4, anyone could be popular if they really wanted to be. Agree. Disagree. A bit more of a split. And then 5, I would gladly give up anything to be the most popular kid. Agree.
Well.
Disagree. All right. We will come back to this in a moment. Let's read the article, and then we'll come back and have a little discussion. Being cool in middle school is not good for your future. For those who reign in middle school hallways, it does not get better, according to a recent study. Researchers from the University of Virginia looked at the life outcomes for those who are considered popular in middle school, those who are more likely to engage in adult behaviors at a young age, and found they were less likely to have healthy relationships 10 years later or to have found success. The study followed 184 adolescents from communities in the southeastern region of the country, starting when they were 13 and ending at 23. Through a series of interviews and surveys, the researchers found that the cool kids in middle school were more likely to have engaged in romantic behaviors at young ages, participated in delinquent activity, and picked friends based on their levels of physical attractiveness. Quick timeout to go over that. So they're saying that those kids that people thought of as cool, some of the 3 main things they saw popped up was 1, romantic behavior at young ages. Translating that means, I was going to go with awkward dating, sure. Then again, most everything you guys do is awkward, but that works pretty well. So awkward dating and whatever comes from there. Participating in delinquent activity. Delinquent activity is
Dumb stuff.
probably a bit more than just the dumb, but yeah. Delinquent is stuff that can get you arrested, because they're going to use another fancy word later on, which is a little bit different. But delinquent is usually the stuff that could actually get you in trouble with the law. So breaking the law in some way. And the last one, my favorite, picked friends based on their levels of physical attractiveness. What does that mean?
Pretty, I like you, be friends.
There you go. No uggos in my friend groups. So they found that they dated early, only hung out with other attractive people, so no uggos, and then tended to break the law. Go popular kids. However, by high school, their peers were less impressed by this behavior, and the popularity of cool middle school kids tended to fade. Years later, the study found that kids who were popular in middle school were also more likely to have engaged in criminal behavior and had more trouble managing their social relationships. It appears that while so-called teens' behavior might have been linked to early popularity, over time, these teens needed more and more extreme behaviors to try to appear cool, at least to a subgroup of other teens. Study author Dr. Joseph P. Allen, a psychology professor at the University of Virginia, said in a press release. So, they became involved in more serious criminal behavior and alcohol and drug use as adolescence progressed. These previously cool teens appeared less competent, socially and otherwise, than their less cool peers by the time they reached young adulthood. Allen elaborated on these developmental struggles to the New York Times. They, the formerly cool kids, are doing more extreme things to try to act cool, bragging about drinking 3 six-packs on a Saturday night. They're still living in their middle school world. The study suggested that these students' interpersonal relationships suffered over time because instead of focusing on building stable friendships during a critical developmental period, the cool kids were focused on debauchery and superficial behaviors. Quick timeout for big fancy words. Debauchery, probably not a word that you're using every day. Do you guys know what debauchery is?
Now there's a reason to know.
I know.
Yes.
It probably means something dumb that kid did, like bad stuff and criminals.
Good use of context clues in there.
Yeah.
Unlike delinquent where you break the law, debauchery just means that you are choosing fun over responsibility. So going and staying out late when you know that you should be getting up early the next day, choosing to play video games as opposed to doing your project, going out with friends when you're supposed to be staying home that night. So not things that necessarily get you arrested, but definitely choosing fun over responsibility. And then superficial behaviors. Well, superficial, the word official, F-I-C-I-A-L, comes from the word fiction. And what does fiction mean?
False.
Fake or false. So superficial means
Really fake.
really, really fake. And so superficial behaviors where you only care about like how people look or what they're wearing or what clothes they have or stuff like that. You're like, oh, you're so adorable on the outside. You have a personality. Don't care. And so you're just focusing on the outer bits. To be truly mature as an early adolescent means you're able to be a good, loyal friend, supportive, hardworking, and responsible, Alan told the Times. But that doesn't get a lot of attention on Monday morning in the 9th grade homeroom. On the other hand, previous research by Allen has shown that those who had trouble making friends in middle school also had issues later in life, according to Education Week. As the outlet notes, apparently in middle school, middle of the pack is the best way to go. So if you've ever felt like, oh, I'm not super popular, but I'm not super hated, I'm kind of right in the middle, congratulations. That's where you kind of come out to be the most healthy. If you have trouble making friends, you might have issues. If all you care about is making friends and that's it, you might have issues. If you're in the middle, things are better. With this, it sparked some discussions earlier, and my one apology I'm going to have is we're not going to have as much time to get into this as I would like. But a couple of questions I wanted to have as I've thought about this with things. One, how many of you, if I said write down, without you yelling names out, write down 3 names of popular kids at our school, how many of you can easily write down 3 names right now? Okay. Put your hands back down for a moment. Here's my next question. Is being popular good or bad? So let me reword this right. If someone called you popular, that would be a compliment. Raise your hand and say you agree. Raise your hand if you say I disagree. I think that would be an insult. Alright. So then, here's one more question before I open up for more discussion. Though, once again, without saying names or looking around, of those of you who could say you could easily list 3 names, raise your hand if one of those names is someone in this room right now. Now, see, that's what I find interesting also, is the fact that most of you don't want to be on that list, but some of you are on somebody else's list. So here's my question I open up to you. Why is being listed popular bad? Popularity by definition means liked by many people. So shouldn't that be a compliment?
Yes.
Why is it now not a compliment? Hobson?
It's not necessarily bad, it's just that like a lot of the popular people, like later in life, they'll just be doing bad things. Like in high school and stuff, they'll just be drinking and other things.
Does it have to be that way?
No.
And there is no right or wrong. This is just more my curiosity with how you guys see the world now. Is that if you get labeled as popular, is it like being doomed?
Yes, that's how I kind of see it.
Okay.
But not everyone else sees it, so.
Opinions. I understand. Selena Kyle?
Popular people tend to be jerks.
Okay. And so if you were labeled popular, then you would see the fact that people see you as a jerk? Would that be where the worry comes in? Is that they become synonymous, meaning the synonyms of each other? Huh. Terhune?
Okay, so popular people, like 9 times out of 10, they're usually the most attractive people in the group.
Okay.
And they're friends with the most attractive people in the group. And they're usually nowadays they're usually on social media and they have all the same clothes, they talk all the same way, and they usually are mean to others, and that's just what people do, and that's what popular because they do what everyone else does.
Is being attractive bad?
No,
Okay.
it's when you use it to be better than everyone else.
Okay, because when you associate the whole popularity with attractiveness thing, and then like no one wanted to be popular, so like then is being attractive bad? And so I was trying to figure out where our connections went from there, because then I'm like, the Kardashians they are popular. I mean Justin Bieber, same thing, has some of the most Twitter followers, or one of the top 3 most So popular, right there. And so the same thing with the Kardashians, and they're considered attractive people. And so it's, I don't know, it's one of those things I find fascinating in seeing how you guys interact with that. Ayana? No, I have to wait.
One thing I really hate, because I used to be called popular at my old school, and I always said I'm not popular, because at my old school, if you were popular, you were, you skipped school, and people would like say, oh my god, you skipped school, you're so popular. I'm like, no, I was actually sick.
Gotcha. And so it came that negative connotation, fancy word meaning the negative connection to it, with the idea of if you were gone and popular, then it's because you were doing it on purpose versus sickness. All right, Akil.
I feel like you can be popular in a good or bad way, because like you could be that really super nice or athletic or smart kid, or you could be like that expelled really bad kid.
Which happens more often? Popular good or popular bad?
Bad.
Let me do it real quick, the hand thing again. Popular bad outnumbers popular good. Agree?
Crazy.
Well then, okay, how about, then who makes those kids popular?
Themselves.
Aren't you guys, I mean, popular means from the popular.
Oh, no!
I told you it was my. I'll make it up to you tomorrow by having homework due.